Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball.
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone, to Life Lessons from Pickleball. Gosh, today we are thrilled to have with us Brian Ashworth as our guest. Brian, you are a true pioneer in the pickleball world. Your journey from Billings, Montana to becoming a 5.0 rated pro and a sought after instructor is nothing short of inspiring.
Not only have you clinched titles like the 2017 U.S. Open Men's Double Gold and the 2016 Canadian National Men's Open Silver, but you've also been instrumental in teaching and promoting the sport across the globe, from Florida to Hawaii to Costa Rica and many more.
And let's not forget to mention your signature paddle, the Pure Shot Brian Ashworth series with One Shot Pickleball. It's a testament to your influence and dedication to the game, and you are also co-owner of the Pickleball Experience and head pro at The Drop in Tacoma, Washington.
We're eager to hear about all of your accomplishments, but let's get started with how you were introduced to pickleball and what was going on in your life at the time.
Awesome. Thank you guys. That was very nice of you. Um, Looking back on some of the stuff you said, I have been very fortunate and lucky to travel the world teaching, travel the world playing with a lot of great partners, which definitely helps in the success. And I actually had somehow tricked two companies into making me a signature paddle. And unfortunately left One Shot recently, but lucky for us, we just signed with Yola. So me and the Pickleball Experience are now sponsored by Yola, so that will help us as we teach and do our clinics and stuff.
That's exciting. When were you first introduced to pickleball?
Oh God, it was about 15 years ago. I used to spend a lot of time at the YMCA back home in Billings, Montana. And we shared one gym for basketball, for boot camp, for pickleball. And one day after playing basketball, we were getting kicked out for pickleball, and one of my friends was like, "Hey, you should stay and play this." And I was like, maybe. So I watched them play, thought, wow, that actually looks pretty cool. Next day I came back and played and never really stopped.
Is that it? And what was your sport before pickleball?
A lot of basketball, a lot of football, baseball growing up. But as I got older, it was basketball and soccer. And I kind of for a while joked that I was kind of a professional recreational athlete. I would just kind of play whatever. So
But
So pickleball is
took
your first racket sport?
it was.
Wow.
I think helped in a lot of ways because I think differently. I see differently. Obviously, it'd be nice to have a bunch of tennis experience and have, the skill set that they come in with right away. But I was kind of a blank slate, right? So I got to learn as I went and got to make things my own and then work on form as I go.
Say more about what you just said. You think differently, you see differently. What's that mean?
Right. So tennis players read tennis players very well. They think they play very similarly. So if you match up two tennis players, they're going to be comfortable playing each other. If you throw me out there with a tennis player doing my goofy stuff, they might be better, but they're like, what is he doing? You're not supposed to do that. So it kind of works out for me.
Yeah. So you started playing pickleball, and then
hmm
what was your journey then to becoming a 5.0 pro?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So at first, especially back 15 years ago, I was one of the youngest by quite a bit. I'm very loud. I don't really use great language sometimes. So I wasn't always everybody's favorite to play with at the gym, right? So I went and got some of my basketball buddies, some younger trash talkers. We all started playing together. Didn't even know it was a real sport, right? We're trying to hit each other with the ball, talk trash. And then slowly got better and better and started playing with the better players. And I was like, oh, this is actually awesome. Watched a couple of videos online, and the local ambassador we had that taught us how to play was like, man, you guys should really go play some tournaments. So I was like, whatever, watched some YouTube, thought I could play with these guys. Went and watched them live and was like, wow, they're very good.
And
But it was fun.
and so what was your introduction to actually, I mean, were you still in Montana when you started doing tournaments?
I was. Yep. So at the time, I think we went to, if you don't count the local ones, right? Montana or Wyoming, we did some little ones. Seattle used to have an indoor tournament that was a pretty big tournament that I would go to. And then Utah in Brigham City had a tournament, and then nationals were kind of the main ones for the first year or two. I then started growing my name and venturing out a little bit.
So were you a 3.0 when you just entered tournaments? You just kind of were a natural, or were you already a
Oh,
4?
for sure, natural, for sure.
Ah,
No, no. I was a hard worker. I had some skill. Back then, we played our first tournament at 4-5.
Wow.
Men's did okay in CTAC. I don't remember. We didn't place, but we did okay. And then in mixed doubles, I actually took silver,
wow.
which was pretty cool right away.
Wow.
But that old CTAC tournament, man, you'd play on Saturday was the 4-5 and 4-0 day. So you could play men's doubles, mixed doubles, singles in the same day.
Wow.
Wake up Sunday, do it again in the open division. So it was awesome for me to play on Saturday and compete. And then on Sunday, see all the guys that I would see on YouTube and like, oh my God, here they all are. Like, it was really cool and so fun to play against them.
And were you
So,
also playing singles, doubles, and mixed?
yeah. Back then, of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you
It's,
have a regular uh, doubles partner, or you
I
mixed it up?
did. Yeah, I did. Especially early on, right? Coming from Montana where there was so few of us, there was kind of 4 of us that would always travel together. Me and a buddy and 2 girls that were friends. And it kind of worked out that we all played with each other. So it was pretty fun. Then as you
Well,
grow, you start branching out partners and stuff.
well, and you had said that you've really got to play with some talented players.
Right,
Tell
right.
us about that.
Oof. So the first one that really took a chance on me, his name was Chris Miller, goes by Mills. Met him, bonded with him right away. Like, I really, really like him. He called me up one day. This is when I lived in Montana. He called me up on like a Monday and he goes, hey, my partner's hurt. Can you play in San Diego on Thursday?
Oh,
He's
wow.
like, I'll get you a place to stay. I'll have partners for you for the rest of the week. And for me, I was like, yes. Like, at the time, he was top 3 in everything, like, huge opportunity. I was going to stay at Jen LaCour's house, who's a Hall of Famer. So it was like, yes, I'll make this work. So I think I paid $800 to fly from Billings to San Diego and played a tournament. And he was very big. I owe him quite a bit, actually, helping my career, getting my foot in the door. Actually, when I moved to Seattle area, I moved in with Mills. I
Oh,
lived with him for a couple of years, so
Wow. How
he was a
did he
good
know
friend.
about you?
Just I think through SeaTac must have been, and maybe in
mhm.
Utah. We're kind of similar personalities, loud, annoying,
Trash talker?
Trash
trash
talkers,
talking, swearing. Yeah. So naturally, we're like best friends, of course, right?
yeah.
So, but it was really fun, and I do owe him a lot. But through that, as you play and you get results, like you get better and better partners, and then as you get results, you get better partners. One thing I think that always helped me is I've always said I think I was a better partner than a player,
Huh.
right? Like in the way that if you watch Ben play right now, he's going to win with everybody. I feel like what I was good at is adapting to my partner's strengths, like if they miss, I don't care. Like I wasn't rude to anybody. I didn't feel like you need to play my game. And I was never that great at maybe creating or scoring a lot of points, but I was pretty good at defense. So I always said, like, you can play the way you play. I'll clean up your mistakes, do the dirty work.
I've
It was
never
fun.
heard that comment before, but you're absolutely right. Being a good partner makes all the difference. And
Correct.
we each have different strengths. And yeah, being
Correct.
good in defense, that's terrific.
Right.
And
Right.
cleaning up the mess of,
I mean,
of the
we
other
all want to
people.
be Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
but I'll take Dennis Rodman. Like I used to play with Ben quite a bit, and I always joked, like, while we were playing, take anything you could touch, man. I'll get it the heck out of the way. But then every medal stand, I'd be right in front of him just to let him know, like, I got it, kid, not you.
That's so good.
So,
That's so
but it was
So
good.
really
you
fun.
played with Ben Johns.
I've played with a lot of the top players.
Jeez.
Ben, I met when we went to Florida for an exhibition. Back then it was in the Villages. It was like the first coaching type things, but it was unpaid. We would just like do these clinics. And I was lucky enough to be there with Kyle Yates, with Wes Gabrielson, 2 of my best friends. And
Aw.
we met this kid, Ben, and we were playing with him. And at that point, we were all a little bit better than him, but it was like, man, this kid in 2 years is going to be amazing. 2 months later was U.S. Open, and I think he won singles. And we were like,
quite 2
all
years.
right, it took 2 months. But I convinced him to come out to the West Coast with me. Back then, all the best players were on the West Coast.
Uh-huh.
So we played a couple of tournaments, and he was so fun. He's so good.
So when
That's
did you start teaching
I don't know
or
exact.
coaching, I guess?
Yeah, probably 7 or 8 years ago. Just helping. And I always felt like I helped people, right? If you had questions, because I felt like because I didn't necessarily have natural talent in racket, I had to be pretty cerebral. I had to understand, court positioning, awareness, strategy type stuff. So I was always willing to help people or listen to any advice from anybody. But I started, I believe it was probably through Boost Camps, which was a Pickleball Central clinic series at the time. And I helped teach some of those and just kind of branched off from there.
You worked with them for Pickleball Central for 6 years or so, 7 years?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
And
was awesome.
it was awesome? Why?
Yes. Just really fun to see how pickleball grew. I think when I started there was maybe 15-ish employees. There was 2 of us in the warehouse in the shipping department, pumping out a really busy day. And I don't even know if I can say this, but on a really busy day, 100 orders a day.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then after, through COVID with the explosion and everything, I think we had maybe 60 employees. There's probably 8 or 10 in the warehouse. There was times we were putting out 500-600 orders a day.
Wow.
So it was really cool to see how much pickleball has grown. Our original warehouse was the size of 2 pickleball courts, and one of them we would actually play on, so we left it empty. By the time we left, it was, I don't know, a 20 or 30,000 square foot warehouse. It was insane.
So what were you shipping out?
Paddles, balls, clothes, shoes, anything and everything pickleball related, we had it.
I didn't realize there were pickleball shoes that long ago. Were there?
Oh, back then, yes, we had a couple of brands. It was mostly paddles, balls, nets.
Nets too. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
And then some clothes every once in a while, but paddles, balls, nets.
Wow.
So then how did you go from working at Pickleball Central to starting your business, the Pickleball Experience?
Yes, perfect. So when COVID hit, Boost Camps kind of stopped. At that point, we were teaching them at Pickleball Central. We had 4 courts on premise. So me, my buddy Peter Hudako, and then our buddy Jemuel Morris were kind of teaching those together. So when they stopped, one day we were at lunch. I used to work with Peter at Pickleball Central as well. So we were outside at lunch. Jem came and met us, and he goes, guys, I think we should keep doing this and just do our own thing. And we were like, sure, why not? Let's do it. I just kind of slowly built up from there, which was really fun because I love Boost. It was a great opportunity. It was cool to teach with them, but we were teaching somebody else's curriculum and you had to follow it pretty specifically. Once we started doing our own thing, we could do whatever the heck we want, right? So if we're with a group and we're like, hey, I know we're supposed to be dinking for an hour, but they obviously need more time or less time, we have the ability to adapt off of it.
Nice.
And then just over the years, we've done all sorts of different clinics, different styles. The one we just did was in California. We did 3 groups of 4 players. We like to do a 4-to-1 ratio, so 1 coach to each court. And basically went in without a curriculum. The first 15 minutes, we watched that group of 4 play, and we started adapting and making our curriculum on the spot for them.
What a great
3 hours,
idea.
it was like, this is exactly what you guys need. It's really, really, really fun.
So that was my question. What is the Pickleball Experience? Because I saw that on your website you do tailor it to groups. So
Right.
that's what you're talking about.
Exactly. We've run tournaments. We've done clinics. Jem and Peter did a lot in Hawaii to help them resurface courts. I came up with the name Pickleball Experience because I always thought the idea of it is an experience together is really fun to me. Each one could be a little bit different. We can kind of do whatever we want. But it's awesome. I feel like I've hacked life, right? Travel with some of
Uh,
my best friends, teach pickleball once, twice a month, and then just raise my kids. It's wonderful.
That's
what a
incredible.
dream. What a dream. And
There,
Right.
I
you
would.
travel internationally, right?
Yes. So we're also lucky enough, being that I'm buddies with Ben. Ben's got his company, Pickleball Getaways. They hire us out every once in a while to go teach some of their getaways. And we were lucky enough to get good reviews and have been back quite a bit. But that takes us, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Antigua. I think those two have been to Turks and Caicos. I went to Portugal with
Wow.
them. Yeah, it's awesome. And both aspects are fun, right? To do his clinics, they got all the people, they got everything. We literally just show up and teach,
And are you
right?
teaching your experience or you're teaching their curriculum?
Both.
Both.
If we're the head pros, we have the freedom to kind of do what we want.
Yeah.
However, because it's their business, we do kind of work together on a curriculum and make sure we cover what needs to be covered, essentially.
Sure.
It's also some of those, Mexico is 80 people, right? So it's
Wow.
much different doing 12 people for 3 coaches versus 80 people for, what do we have? We do groups of 40, so 5 or 7 coaches.
Wow.
So you do got to adapt your curriculum based off, hey, we got this many people, we got to be a little more broad with what we do, or hey, we got 4 people, we can do exactly what you guys need.
So you guys are known Peter the Wizard, you the
Mm-hmm.
Dragon, Jemuel
Mm-hmm.
the Goat. How
Yes.
did you each get your titles for those?
Let's see. Let's start with Peter. So Peter is the wizard. Peter is very misdirecty, very goofy with the shots he hits. Almost like he makes the ball disappear and then reappear somebody else. So we just called him the wizard. He's also kind of witchy, kind of hippie. Like it fits really well. I was the dragon because sometimes I'm a little sleepy, don't really care. But if you wake up the dragon,
Look
Oh,
out.
watch
sometimes you're in
out.
trouble. Right. And then Jem was the goat because, especially in the early days, right? Goat, everybody thinks like greatest of all time. Goat was a little video he sent us in the early days. Basically, Peter would be explaining a drill, me and Jem would be doing it, and I would just be like, without really trying, I would be annihilating Jem in these drills over and over. But he sent us a video that was like this little black goat just getting picked on by everybody.
Whoa.
And he was like, that's me. So the nickname of goat stuck. But it's fun because everybody else, when they hear it, they think like, oh, this guy must be really good. And he's very good now. But it started because he was just getting dominated over and over.
That
Wow.
is so funny.
So
There was one pickleball experience I read about that was very heart touching, where I think you were in Hawaii, but you were raising money for orphanage in Mexico. How did
right.
that work?
So Jem, I believe it was on one of the trips we did getaways for Ben. We were there for a week. We went home for 5 days. We came back. Jem stayed there and went to around the area. And I think he ran into this place or somehow got connected with them. So actually, I believe, and I'd have to confirm, but I believe we give a portion of every single clinic, every single experience, everything we do goes to this place.
Oh,
Wow.
Jem is the one that found it. Jem is the one that did it.
I think
At
primarily
least,
for children with disabilities.
That's what I
yes,
read.
I
Was a
believe so.
Yeah.
place, yeah,
I
it's a
believe so.
home for children that have been with disabilities that have been cast out of their families, and there are
Right.
25 to 30 kids now housed there.
Okay.
Wow.
It looked like it was amazing. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, Jem's a better person than me.
He's a
So
gem.
he is. He is.
You had said that right before the show. You said, "Oh, they're better people," and I said to
Yeah.
you, they
Yeah.
would say the same about you. Yeah, that's what humility
Yeah.
does. It's very endearing.
Hmm.
You said you had a signature paddle. Now you're with Jula, but how do you go about even getting a signature paddle? How did that even happen?
Pure luck,
No.
man.
Or skill.
No, it kind of started back in the day. Maybe, gosh, I'm so bad with years. Maybe like 2015, 2016-ish.
Yeah.
I was playing with ProLite at the time.
Oh yeah.
This is when I was one of this is at like kind of peakish of my career, right? I had 3, 4 good years in a row. And we wanted to come out with kind of a signature paddle, which I still say that paddle was ahead of its time. It was an all carbon fiber paddle,
Oh,
not that long ago.
wow.
Wow.
It was covered. They put something over the top, so it wasn't the raw carbon fiber that you see today.
Uh-huh.
But very similar, felt awesome. I love that paddle. And we put a little beard sticker on the bottom and like my
I wonder
name. So
why.
it was, yeah, it was so
For
fun. Like
those
at
who aren't
times,
watching the YouTube,
right,
our guest here
right,
has an amazing beard.
right. Thank you. uh, and at the time, like I remember it was really fun, but also kind of embarrassing at times. Just like if somebody had it, it was like, it was always really cool, but I was like, how did this happen to me? Right.
Uh, uh,
And then when I started working with One Shot, which is a local Seattle company, two of my very good friends, we kind of wanted to do like the same thing, come out with something. So I helped design this one quite a bit more. It was like exactly what I wanted in a paddle.
uh,
Took the beard logo off of it. Just felt like in a way, maybe women didn't want to paddle with a beard. So
yeah.
this was something that was maybe a little more easier for everybody.
Yeah.
But that was awesome too. And we had very good success with that, especially the first couple years, kind of until all the paddles basically became the same paddle.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but it
And
was
then
fun.
how did you get hooked up with Jula?
Kind of through getaways, teaching out there. One of the guys that was there works for him. He really liked our style. He said, yo, would you ever be interested in signing with them? And at the time, it was kind of like, yeah, sure, maybe. But I also really liked One Shot, right? Friends, local. Like, I like being loyal. They were always good to me. I wanted to be good to them. But then one day I hit the Yola paddle and it was like, oh, okay, this is pretty nice. And I felt like, in a way, I'm in a different chapter of my pickleball journey
Ah,
to where it is maybe more coaching, more teaching, less playing.
uh-huh.
And through Yola, I think the support we can get is a little bit better for that part of my journey.
Yeah. Is it Yola? I've been saying Eula. Yola.
Lola.
Yola. Good. Good. That's very cool.
I
Yeah, who
think
knows?
Yola, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. So, you've had an amazing life, my friend, and you're also a dad with
Mm-hmm.
adorable children,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
have this remarkable career on the
Mm-hmm.
court. So, what life lessons would you say you have gleaned either in your life and that you use when you're on the court or when you're coaching, or
Perfect.
that you've learned on the court or while you were coaching that you find yourself using in life?
Okay. Yeah, the biggest one to me would be patience, right? And I
Ah,
listened to Wes Gabrielson's episode with you guys the other day. He said patience as well,
yep.
but I just think it's so true, right? Especially younger, where you get fired up about dumb things. And then when I would play pickleball, like if I was really good, I was way up here. And then when I get upset, I would drop way down. So
Mm,
patience to me became more than just like, okay, dink 10 times before you attack, right? It was calmness, patience, relaxing, don't get too high, don't get too low. And that has carried over really well to real life for me.
mhm.
Like I don't get that worked up about much. So that's been kind of the big one. And to
And
me,
you
I
want
feel
to be
like,
patient. Oh, sorry. I just gonna say you want to be patient with those kids.
oh man,
So yeah.
whew, they're
Great
fun.
lesson.
They're fun. But right now
Yeah.
we have a 2.5-year-old and a 5-month-old.
What?
So
5
to
months.
they're just in two different stages, right? The 2.5-year-old wants to run around all day and scream and yell, and the 5-month-old can't move. So it's very interesting, but yes, patience is very much required, right? But I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh,
So
what a nice balance to
hmm
have your home life and your professional life and have
correct,
one lesson that kind of works with both.
right, right. So
Very
and then
nice.
patience, I also look at it in the way of like teaching, right?
Mm,
I feel like I'm pretty good at meeting people where they're at. I think a lot of people teach pickleball very black and white, right? Like you have to do this, you have to play like this, you have to look like this, you have to hold the paddle like this. And to me, I'm like, no, Like if you said, hey, I want to be a pro pickleball player in 3 months, sure, there might be some hard rules. But other than that, like most of us are playing for fun.
Yeah.
So to me, let's have fun, right? Like your game can look funky. It can look unique. That shot that everybody tells you don't hit, I'll tell you maybe situations why not to, but maybe there's plenty where it is good to hit, right?
Yeah.
And to me, even if you watch high level, they don't all look the exact same,
No.
right? And
Right.
if that's the case, why should we, right? Or to look at other sports, right? Like basketball is one of my favorite sports to play. If you watch basketball, all they do is shoot threes and dunk. Well,
Yeah.
I definitely can't dunk and I don't shoot threes. So what am I supposed to not play? Like,
Right.
so, or if you watch golf, right? They hit right down the middle every time. I've never hit the middle in my life. So I'd rather just kind of meet people where they're at, have fun, build confidence. I feel like most people just want to feel like, honestly, like they belong on the court and that their partner
Yeah.
isn't like, oh, I have to play with them again,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah.
think that's a big part. It's just confidence of like, dude, if you miss, who cares? If you make the shot, who cares,
Who cares?
right?
Yeah.
If you win, doesn't matter. If you lose, doesn't matter.
As long as you had fun playing, who cares?
Correct.
So you've seen a lot of changes in the game since you first started 15 years ago.
So
What are
many.
some of the changes that you like and what are some that you're kind of wondering about?
I would say right now it's different. When I was still competing at pro level and still trying to hang on, I didn't like that the game sped up. I didn't like that it was getting more athletic. I didn't like that people are just ripping because I felt like my best skill set was outthinking you and outsmarting you. And a little bit of that went away. However, now that I don't play as much anymore, I don't play pro, like to be honest, it is more fun just to like not think and just hit the ball hard and see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
So it is very fun. I would say one thing that I don't love as much as I do feel like back in the day, I feel like we'd go to tournaments, everybody would play with everybody, we'd hang out afterwards. Now it doesn't seem to have as much camaraderie as it once did, or there is more people making exclusive groups, but maybe that's just part of the growth, right? Like you used to be able to go to any pickleball court anywhere and be able to play. Now it's,
Right.
6 courts in Seattle, there's 30 stacks of 4 paddles waiting. So if that's the case, maybe you do want to just play with your friends. So it just seems a little bit different in that way. But it's really fun for me, again, like with the growth. Like I used to be, if somebody said, what do you do? And I'd be like, oh, I play pickleball. They'd be like, what's that? And I'd have to be like, well, how much time do you have, right? Short version, it's like ping pong and tennis with chess, right? Long version, well, let's get into it. And now it's, well, I play pickleball. And they're like, oh, I love pickleball.
Yeah.
Right. So, and to see commercials with it and see it in TV shows. So overall, I think it's very, very good. It's just cool to see how many people are still playing and how many people still love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
And I hope we don't ever lose the camaraderie. I know what you mean. And I think it's up to each of us as players to make sure that we keep the open heart. Remember that some people are just starting. We started a long time ago. And so it's, we got to keep that going because that's the spirit of this game. Yeah.
That's the only way we get to where we're at, right?
Yeah.
I had buddies that took a chance on me before I was ready.
There you go.
So good on them. And I tell people a lot, right? Like, don't ever be, pickleball means so much to so many people that I tell them, like, don't be the reason somebody quits playing. Right? Like, maybe that's all they have going in their life that day, and you roll your eyes at them once, and they never come back.
Yep.
Right? How heartbreaking would it be to hear, like, hey, 3 people quit pickleball because of you? Like, that would crush me. So I try to never be a reason that somebody quits playing. I say, if I go to open play, I will play with anybody. I will have fun. I don't care. There is times I will set up groups.
Sure.
But it's not at open play, right?
Sure.
Open play is...
Open play has to be open play.
Let's do it, right? I don't care if you've never played. I don't care if you're the best player in the world. Like, let's play. Let's have fun. But,
I love it.
Right.
So what's your future? What's coming up for you? And how can people follow you?
Who knows? No, teaching a lot through Pickleball Experience. Check out our website, thepickleballexperience.com. We do a lot of custom. We're actually just about to go to Canada in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
And I think that's another similar one where we're customizing it to them.
Nice.
Going to Michigan, it's just so fun to like travel around. But essentially, because we're willing to customize to what you want, it's not, yo, bring this cookie cutter clinic to the area. It's, hey, you might call and be like, hey, my area needs this. Can you guys do it? Of course we can. Right. So that's a big part of it. I don't know that I'll ever get into as many tournaments again. I feel like that's hard because I still have expectations of my level, but they're not where I'm at. And I don't necessarily want to sign up for a tournament and be like, crap, I got to train for 3 months or I'm going to be very, very upset with myself.
Good
right?
point.
Like right now, I'd rather hang with my family, my kids, and grow those bonds than be marginally better at pickleball, right?
Great priorities, Brian.
Yeah, you
Great
can come back and be a senior pro.
Maybe. Who
After
knows
the
what it'll
kids.
look like,
How old
right?
are you, Brian? How old are you?
I'm 40. So
He
old.
says it so quietly. We're in our
Right.
60s, dear. So
Yeah.
you're a
But-
babe
But
in the woods.
exactly. To look at like pickleball and say like, ooh, senior pro, I got 10 years for that.
Yeah.
Look at what
Yeah.
pickleball looked like 10 years ago.
Oh, good
If
point.
that
Right?
continues, I
Yeah,
won't even
you'll
be
be
close
fine.
to senior pro.
You'll
Like,
be fine if you decide you want to get back into it. But I love that you're coaching. I love how you three guys are meeting the needs of the people you're coaching and
Yeah.
not
Right.
just asking everybody to adjust to whatever it is you want to teach. I
correct.
think that's fantastic. You watch the group and you say, oh, okay, we're seeing what it's, what some of the weaknesses are, what your strengths are,
Right.
and let's build on the strengths. Yeah, I love that. Good for you.
And it's more fun for us that way.
I bet. I
So,
bet. Well, Shelley, how lucky are we?
We are so lucky. We get to talk to all
very
these
lucky.
great pickleball players. Yeah.
So lucky. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so
Yes.
much for taking the time.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys.
And give your
Thank you.
kidlets a little kiss and hug, and your wife too, because
I will.
bless her for keeping them busy.
Oh man, she's a saint.
Thank you.
Yes,
And
thank
thank
you
you all. Oh my gosh. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to share these episodes. If they are really something that you think, oh, I know people who could really benefit, share these episodes. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, like us, and follow Brian Ashworth and the pickleballexperience.com. Go to that website, check it out. Thanks, you all. And we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.